Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a mid-year review of our homeschool curriculum that we chose. And I do have a third grader and a first grader. So I'll do the third grader curriculum first, and then the second half of the video will be my first grader's curriculum. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Jen. I do homeschooling videos, gardening, recipes, cleaning tips, any type of DIY. I mostly just do mommy videos. Anyways, welcome to my channel. If you're new and you enjoyed this, please consider subscribing and we'll get right into it. Okay, so for my third grader, we are using the First Language Lessons Level 3. And this is the instructor's manual here. So it just has the lesson and it has exactly what you need to say and what you're going to be learning about. I absolutely love this. It makes it very easy for me. I strongly suggest this program. I use it for both my first grader and my third grader. And then my third grader has I basically just make copies and put it in his folder. So that way I can reuse my book with my first grader. But so these are his lessons. And so he uses his and I use mine and we just work through it. Sometimes it can take up to a half an hour. Sometimes it's really short, but I really love this program. There's a lot of repetition, so he's not forgetting things. And I do think that this is a really good book. I really do enjoy this one. For spelling, we are doing Spelling You See, and this has been working really, really great for us. We use it again for my first and third grader. And I really like how they are having them like chunk stuff. So they do the bossy R chunks, they do consonant chunks, they color them different colors, then they have to write it. They do the same little script for 4 days, then the 5th day, they actually write it themselves. So here's like where Carter wrote it himself, and then you see which words they misspelled, and we kind of go over it. And I think you write on this page how many they got correct. So I do see an improvement with my third grader, and I really like this. So we're almost done with the first book, and then we'll move on to the second book. I picked up this daily geography book for my third grader, and I really like this one as well. I wasn't sure if I was going to or not. I think I used like a spelling one or something last year. Maybe it was language arts, and it just was not sufficient. But this is perfect. It doesn't take long at all. So on Mondays, like we would read this, I would read this to him and we would go over the picture, and then he has like Monday, he has 2 questions, Tuesday, a couple questions, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then there's a challenge. This has worked great. Now, I will tell you, we don't just limit our geography to this book because it doesn't go into great detail, but it does have a lot of great ways to reinforce things that we are learning about. For handwriting, I am using the Zahner Blauser, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and he's doing cursive. It starts with just the manuscript and then it does go on to cursive, and it's been working really well. I do see an improvement with his handwriting and his cursive in general, and he's starting to, like, I'm like, Carter, let's see if you can do it on this paper today. Let's see if we can write this in cursive. So this has been working really good. It goes through the alphabet. And like the other day, he wrote his own poem in cursive. So it's getting a little bit more challenging now. And we're not quite halfway through, but I am really not stressing about this. I'm not really pushing it to the extreme. He still has some work to do on his manuscript. So we're just introducing cursive, and hopefully next year we'll do more writing with cursive in daily writing. For math, we are doing the primary mathematics, the 3A, and this is the Common Core edition. This is what he was doing when he went to a charter school before we started homeschooling, and it worked really well, so we just continued with it. So this is the Singapore math, and we are almost done with this book. It is taking quite a while, but we were using the workbook as well with it. So it was taking, you know, we had extra worksheets because they tell you here, do this exercise on page such and such. So that's an additional book that we have. But now that we're doing division and multiplication, well, he knows all of his multiplication tables, but the division stuff, like some of these pages have a lot of problems. And it's like, okay, we're not going to do all of them. If you get it, we're just going to do, 6 or so, and then we'll move on to the next subject. So we are moving a little bit more quickly. I think he has maybe 20 pages left in this book, and then we'll be done with this one. So this has been working really good again for us. I picked up this book, Complete Curriculum, at Costco when they got in all of their books, and it was only $12. It has all of the subjects. Well, I think it has reading, math, spelling, language arts, writing, and then there's test prep in there. But this book is really nice. We do this just as extra work to reinforce things that he's working on already. So you'll see we don't go through like the whole thing from front to back. I just pick certain areas that I think would be good for him. Like the other day, he was writing paragraph. We're learning all about paragraphs. And yeah, I really like this book. I think it's a great reinforcement to the other things we're learning. These are a few of Carter's fun books, as we call them. And yeah, so this one I got off of Amazon. I'll put a link below if you want to look at it, but they have all kinds of different ones like this. It is the Doodle Adventure, The Search for the Slimy Space Slugs. It says, you draw the story. So Carter really likes this book. However, I'm not a huge fan because I don't remember how much I paid for it. Maybe $10-ish, somewhere around there. But I just find it's really funny. It is a very funny book. However, I just find when Carter's supposed to draw something, he just scribbles through it because he wants to get to the next page. And I don't know, it just doesn't really bring out a real creative side for him. So he's enjoying it, but we're really taking it slow. He only does this about once a week because, I mean, like, this is what he drew. I don't even know what it is, honestly. But yeah, it's hard to spend $10 on something and then for them to just like whip through it in a week. So we are slowing down quite a bit. He only does it about once a week in just a few pages. And yeah, but I think afterwards I'll have him go back and read through the whole thing and look at his pictures, and it'll be just kind of like a reading activity at that point. So this is probably my least favorite thing that I purchased for this year, but he seems to enjoy it. Next, I got him this Extreme Dot to Dot book, and he really likes this. At first, he did not because it is very challenging. However, he's gotten quite used to it now. And look how small they are. They're so teeny. But he actually made one of these for my parents for Christmas. It was, I don't know if it has the picture of the completed one in here, but it was, this little hermit crab one. And we made a frame for it and he colored it and it turned out really cute. So that was his Christmas present. Yeah, so he likes this book. I do too. Obviously we won't finish it this year, but we can use it again next year. Okay, this book here is Entangle for Kids. I really like this book. However, we don't use it a whole lot, probably because Carter's not a huge fan. But it's supposed to be kind of like calming and relaxing and meditating. They teach you different ways to draw, and like this was one that he did, this little fox. It turned out super cute. He did a great job, but it's just not his #1 pick. If he's going to pick a fun book, he's going to pick something else. So we have not gotten real far in this one. Maybe he's still a little too young, I don't know, or maybe it's just not his thing. But so that was his last fun book. So anyways, that is my 3rd grader's curriculum. Obviously this isn't everything that we do. We have way more that we incorporate daily. We do Bible, we do have a daily journal that he does. We do silent reading and we do math flashcards and all kinds of stuff, but this is the curriculum that we purchased. Okay, for my 1st grader, we are also using the first language lessons. This is level 1, and this one does not come with a student workbook. It's just the instructor's manual, and it tells you exactly what to do. Again, it tells you exactly what to say and what you should say together. And there are little activities. We just have like pieces of paper in here that we write down. He practices handwriting. He comes with his own nouns. Sometimes he gets to draw something. But I really love this. It is great for him because in the beginning of the year especially, he was not real fond of workbooks and that type of thing. So this is working really, really well. But again, I love this. I've already bought the level 2 for next year because I found it online for cheap. And yeah, I really like this, by Jessie Wise. So this one is a great one. For math, he is doing the Primary Mathematics Textbook 1B. He already finished the 1A. Again, this is the Common Core Singapore Math, and he just started this book a couple days ago. But I just love how colorful this math is. And yeah, there are some math programs out there that are not colorful, and my kids really enjoy the pictures and just having something fun to look at on the page. So again, we really like this for him. For handwriting, he is doing the Handwriting Without Tears. This is my printing book, and I think this is the first grade level, I'm assuming. But he did this, all my boys did this to start off with, and he's just continuing this year. He probably will continue next year, and then we'll move him on to the Zahner Blauser as well. But again, it's not a colorful book, but they do get to color and add silly things in here. It's worked really, really well, and he is almost done with this book. That is the one downside to this book. It's not real thick. It comes with one, and then you're done. So we do try to incorporate a lot of other handwriting things that he can copy and whatnot, but that is the one downside to this. It's such a thin book, and we only do this 3 times a week, and we are almost done with it, and we're only halfway through the year. He is doing the Spelling UC Level B, the Jack and Jill, and again, he's almost done with this one. This one is a little bit different than the higher levels. They have a little rhyme that they will say, and then he has to find a couple of things in here. He's not quite coloring them yet. And then he has a little sentence he writes. And then it's gotten a lot more towards the end of the book, but I will tell him a word and he has to sound it out and write it at the same time. In the beginning of the book, I think it was only, a few words. So when it turned into more, he was a little overwhelmed, but he's doing really, really great at it. And I'm so proud of him. He's spelling so good. So this is working really great for him. All right, I picked these books up at Costco. They're the Star Wars books. They're not my favorite, but he does like Star Wars. My boys have actually never seen the movie, but they do like Star Wars because their father does. But this one is for ages 6 to 7. He has the first grade math and the first grade writing skills. He really does enjoy this just because there's different pictures, and he's doing so good at math right now. But this one we're working on, and this writing one we just picked up again. I don't make him do all this. And, the hard thing about this book is I don't know how to pronounce a lot of this stuff because I'm not a Star Wars fan. And would you ever really need to know how to spell this? Probably not, but anyways, that's the only downside. He enjoys it. He likes the pictures and whatever. It's kind of a fun extra thing that we do. For phonics, we are doing Explode the Code. He started with book 1. This is book 3. And he did that last year for his kindergarten. And now that he's in first grade, he's on level 3. And I think he's about halfway done with this book. I really love this program. It's very simple. Once you get in a routine, you know exactly what you're supposed to do, and he can kind of really do this on his own, except for the days that there's a little bit more reading, then he wants me by his side. But overall, I love this program. I think it's working really great for him. And I also picked up one of the big books, the Complete Curriculum for the first grade level. And again, it has reading, math, spelling, language arts, writing, and the test prep. I actually tear them out of this book for him and put them in his 3-ring binder, which is in his 3-ring binder here, which it is starting to fall apart. But I just hole punch them and, oh, sorry, this is the Explode the Code. I copy those as well. But his worksheets are back here, and I just hole punch them and put them at the back because those big books are so hard to use, and especially at that age level, they just are really not interested in trying to keep this book open and write it. He has a couple of times, but for the most part, we tear them out. So yeah, this is a great fill-in, again, for areas that we're working on, and I really do like the reading section of this book. He's doing so good at it, and it's fun stuff, so he is really enjoying that. Another thing that we're doing is Writing with Ease. This is the level 1, and this is again by Susan Wise Bauer. I photocopy, so in the first half, it's the instructor's manual, and then the second half is the stuff that the students do. I'm actually having both my third grader and first grader do this level just because I wasn't really sure if I was gonna like it or not. It's good for Carter with his handwriting. Obviously that's what this is writing, and it's writing with ease, so it's supposed to be painless, and it actually really is. You do it 4 days a week, and let me see if I can just go back to the first day of this week. So first they just have copy work, and then the next day you read them a little clip from like this Alice in Wonderland, and then they tell you something about it and you say, okay, can you write it? So like my third grader, he'll write it on his own. My first grader, I typically write it out and then he copies it. He just gets overwhelmed if I just make him write it down. And then the third day, again, is copy work. And the fourth day, you read a little passage again, and then you write it, and then the student copies it. So I photocopy these, and they go in his folder. For my first grader's fun books, he has quite a few because he really loves these books. These are from Costco. Most of them are from Costco. This is the Animal Kingdom sticker and activity book. This was $8. It's fine. It has really good wording and pictures, but the stickers, they do not stick well at all. So that is really annoying, but he enjoys this. He loves animals. So this one we just started recently because he finished his other one. This one here I bought off of Amazon, Doodle and Draw Spots, Stripes, and Squiggles. They have so many different books like this. They are so cute. And he really does love this. So it just says 10 silly snakes, give them all stripes. So he can be creative and do whatever he wants. Give them stripes and different colors. This one he was making different shells, and they teach you how to do the swirls and lines. Here he was drawing bricks. It's so cute. I love it. But he has quite a bit left in here still, just so you can kind of take a look at that. Oh, and on Friday he was doing, what are these? The spiky scales. He really enjoyed that. Anyway, so I like that one a lot. And this, I would say, was his most favorite book this year. Again, this was from Costco, my first wild activity book. And I knew he was going to love this from the beginning, but it has these huge fold-out pages. They have stickers you put on. They have questions you answer. You have to find stuff in the pictures. Oh man, if I could have, I should have bought more than one so I could have used it with Coulter. It was really cute. He loved it, and he's all done with it now, so he was really upset when he finished that. Oh, and then they have like coloring and dot to dots and just a little bit of everything. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that if you had any questions about those books or curriculum, that maybe that helped a little bit. But overall, we are really happy with the books that we chose, besides the few that just weren't my favorites, but they're still okay. They're still working just fine. But like I said earlier, this isn't just what we use. We use a whole lot more. That's the great thing about homeschooling. You can bring in whatever you want. You can incorporate whatever you want. It's so great to have that freedom to, if you want to study animals one week, then you study animals. If you see something outside and you want to look further into that, then you do it. You just find the opportunities, and that's one of the really great things about homeschooling. Overall, I think that we're really happy with what we picked. I love watching YouTube videos and people's curriculum reviews and what they got, and that's where I got a lot of my ideas. So I'm sure next year I'll do the same thing and see if I can find a few new things, but I think we'll continue to use what we have and through the rest of the year, considering we're almost halfway done, or we are about halfway done, which is really exciting. It's gone by super fast. If you enjoyed this video and you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.